She'd been taking the same route for 15 years but knew nothing about Walter. Just a kind old man. He'd say, "Good morning. Be careful." Until one day she noticed the old scar on his arm and asked where it came from. Walter's answer shocked everyone. Ranger School, 1978. Chute didn't open. Welcome to the real tale. Before we begin this powerful story of silent service, hidden heroism, and unexpected discovery, tell me in the comments, what city are you watching from today? And if you believe stories like this deserve to be heard, hit that subscribe button. Real stories change lives. Metro Line 47 was one of the city's busiest routes, from downtown to North Hills, carrying thousands of people during morning and evening rush hours. Businessmen, students, hospital staff, cleaning crews, people from all walks of life came together on this bus. Most didn't know each other, didn't talk, just waited for their destinations. Walter Rodriguez had been driving this route for 18 years. His shift started at 6:30 a.m. and ended at 6 p.m. Same route, same stops, often the same passengers. He was 67, but looked 60, the result of regular exercise, healthy eating, and never drinking alcohol. His hair was now silver white, but his posture was straight, his eyes sharp, his hands steady. Passengers loved Walter. He never rushed, was patient with elderly passengers getting on and off, said, "Good morning" every morning, and "Be careful" every evening. He'd never been seen angry, never shouted, never been rude. He was a perfect professional, reliable, kind, and invisible. One of his most regular passengers was Lisa Chen, a 42-year-old nurse who worked at Downtown Hospital. She'd been taking Walter's bus for 15 years, boarding at 7:45 a.m. from her stop, getting off at the hospital. Walter always smiled at her, said, "Good morning, Nurse Chen." Lisa would say, "Good morning, Walter," but they'd never talked beyond that. What nobody knew, what nobody even thought to wonder, was that Walter Rodriguez had served 25 years in the United States Army, specifically in the 75th Ranger Regiment, 3 tours in Vietnam, 2 tours in Grenada, 1 tour in Panama. Rangers, the Army's elite infantry unit, warriors who operated behind enemy lines in dangerous missions with minimal support. But that was another life, another man. The Army had taught him leadership, teamwork, and staying calm under pressure. 18 years of bus driving had taught him patience, endless patience, tested patience. Most days, these skills proved more useful than anyone expected. It was a cold Wednesday morning in October when everything changed. Lisa came to the stop at 7:45 as usual. Walter stopped the bus and opened the doors. "Good morning, Nurse Chen." "Good morning, Walter." As Lisa swiped her transit card, she looked at Walter's arm. His sweater sleeve had rolled up, revealing an old scar, deep, heavy, surgical-looking. Lisa was a nurse. She knew scars. This wasn't an ordinary cut. It looked like a deep, complicated wound, probably going through bone. "Walter," she said hesitantly, "that mark on your arm, if I may ask, where's it from?" The bus hadn't started moving yet. Walter looked in the mirror, then at his arm, then at Lisa. In 18 years, nobody had ever asked him a personal question. "Ranger School," he said quietly. 1978. Chute didn't open. Lisa's breath caught. Ranger School, the legendary Army training program, one of the toughest, most challenging military trainings. And a parachute accident. "You were a ranger?" Walter nodded and started the bus. "Long time ago." Lisa sat down, but her mind was on Walter. This kind, quiet man. A ranger. One of the Army's most elite units, and he'd never mentioned it, never bragged, never given any hint. From that day on, Lisa began looking at Walter differently. How he drove the bus, precise, careful, checking every detail. How he spoke to passengers, respectful but with authority. How he handled difficult situations, calm, calculated, effective. A week later, Lisa gathered courage to ask again. "Walter, could you tell me more about being a ranger?" Walter looked at her in the mirror. What would you like to know? Everything. How did you become a ranger? How long did you serve? Why did you become a bus driver? Walter parked the bus at the next stop, left the engine running. He turned around. 75th Ranger Regiment, 1975 to 2000. 25 years. Vietnam, Grenada, Panama, and a few unofficial missions. Lisa's eyes widened. 25 years. Were you an officer? Sergeant Major. My final rank. And why did you choose to become a bus driver after retirement? Walter smiled, a rare, genuine smile. Because I still wanted to serve people, but not with weapons anymore, by getting them safely home. That conversation completely changed how Lisa looked at Walter. This wasn't just a bus driver. This was a soldier who had served his country for 25 years and was now continuing to serve in civilian life. Lisa shared the story with her colleagues at the hospital. Dr. Martinez, himself a veteran, was very impressed. Walter Rodriguez, 75th Rangers, I was in the Army too. That regiment is legendary. What do you mean? Rangers are the Army's most elite unit. Only the best are accepted. Staying in Rangers for 25 years? This man is a legend. The news spread through the hospital. Nurses, doctors, staff, everyone started talking about Walter, but none of them told him. None changed their behavior. They just quietly began showing more respect. A month later, the hospital organized Military Appreciation Week. Dr. Martinez came to Lisa. Should we invite Walter? To give a speech? I don't know. He's very humble. I'm not sure he'd accept. Let's ask. Worst case, he says no. Lisa suggested it to Walter that evening. Walter thought for a long time. A speech about what? He asked. About your service to inspire young people. I just did my job. Walter, Lisa said gently, serving 25 years in Rangers isn't just doing a job. That's sacrifice, courage, dedication. Walter finally accepted. The hospital conference room was packed. Doctors, nurses, technicians, security guards. Everyone had come to listen to Walter. When he took the stage, in civilian clothes, modest, quiet, nobody could imagine him as a sergeant major. My name is Walter Rodriguez, he began. I served 25 years in the 75th Ranger Regiment. Now, I drive bus on Metro Line 47. Silence filled the room. You invited me to speak because you learned I was a ranger, but there's another reason I'm here. Walter paused, scanning the room. All of you save lives every day. Doctors, nurses, technicians, you are the real heroes. I just fought. You fight every day in peacetime. The most important thing being a ranger taught me is this. When one mission ends, a new mission begins. My mission ended, but my service didn't. Now I safely take people home. And you touch lives every day. You're doing more important service than I ever did. When the speech ended, applause lasted for minutes. People came to Walter, thanked him, shared their stories. Lisa watched with tears in her eyes. The next day, when Walter got on the bus, everything was different. Same passengers, but different energy. People were smiling at him, thanking him, talking to him. Uncle Walter, said a young student, I saw you on TV. Great speech. Thank you, son. Were you really a ranger? Walter nodded. But now I'm a bus driver, and I love this job. The speech had been recorded and shared on the hospital's social media. It started going viral. Walter's humble story, his understanding of service, his humility touched people. Local news channels became interested. Walter didn't want to give interviews, but Lisa convinced him. Your story could inspire others. It could be hope for veterans. Walter appeared on TV, humble, sincere, strong. He told about his ranger background, explained why he chose bus driving. Service is a way of life, he said. You change uniforms, but service continues. The story was featured in national media. Walter received thousands of messages from veterans, from bus drivers, from people who just wanted to thank him. The most important messages came from his ranger buddies, Old team members had been looking for Walter for years. Now they'd found him. Tony, Mike, and Steve. Walter's team from Vietnam, reunion after 40 years. "Walter, man, we've been looking for you for 40 years. "Where have you been?" Walter smiled. "I was here, serving." "You still talk like a sergeant major." Some things never change. His friends learned about Walter's life, that he'd lost his wife, his children lived far away, he was alone but happy. "Why didn't you ever call?" Tony asked. "You were living your lives. I didn't want to bother you." "Walter," Mike said, "you're our brother." Brothers don't bother each other, they look after each other. From that day on, Walter's life completely changed. Not just media attention. He'd found his family again, both his military family and his civilian community. Metro Company selected Walter as Employee of the Year. At the award ceremony, he spoke. "This award isn't just mine. It belongs to all our drivers who try to provide safe, kind, professional service every day. We also serve. Differently, but we serve." Line 47 is now the city's most popular route. People wait to travel on Walter's bus, but Walter hasn't changed. Same kind, same humble, same professional. The only difference, now he talks to passengers, listens to their stories, gives advice, mentors young people. "Uncle Walter," says high school student Josh, "I want to join the Army too." "Why?" "To be like you." Walter smiles. "You don't need to be like me to be a soldier. Be like Josh, then become a soldier." "What do you mean?" "First be a good person, then you'll be a good soldier." Today, Walter Rodriguez still drives Line 47, at 69, in his 21st year as a bus driver. But he's no longer just a driver. He's a mentor, advisor, and quiet hero. Every morning he says, "Good morning." Every evening, "Be careful." But now people really listen, because these words aren't just politeness, they're advice from someone with 25 years of service background. "People respect me because I was a ranger," Walter says, "but I respect them because I'm a bus driver, because every job, when done right, is honorable." Lisa still takes Walter's bus. After 15 years, they've become friends, and every morning, the same ritual. "Good morning, Sergeant Major." "Good morning, Nurse Chen," and just Walter. You're never just Walter. Walter smiles. Because now he knows rank doesn't matter. What matters is continuing to serve, and Walter Rodriguez continues to serve. One morning, one passenger, one smile at a time. Sometimes heroism comes with uniforms. Sometimes it just comes behind a steering wheel. Walter Rodriguez has experienced both, and now he teaches both. So tell me, have you ever really wondered about someone you encounter in daily life? That bus driver, cashier, security guard? Maybe they have incredible stories like Walter too. If this story moved you, subscribe to The Real Tale. We're here to tell the extraordinary stories of ordinary seeming people, because every person is a story, and every story deserves respect. See you in the next story. And remember, sometimes the greatest heroes are found in the most ordinary places.